Hello all. Here we are going to see the logic name called Fibonacci series. The particular prerequisite of the video is you have to know about the C programming basic structures, as well as you need to know some basic knowledge about for loop. Okay, let's go to the program. Okay, so Fibonacci series, it is a numbered series in which we can generate our particular output like this: 0 1 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 5 8. Okay, so how to generate this series? Actually it is generating 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 5 is 8. Okay, so it is adding the before two numbers, and the result of the number, successor number, will be resulted as addition of before two numbers. This is called Fibonacci series. So the first term what we have to do means, any program we are going to execute on the programming platform, we need to decode it manually. Then only we can understand the working of that logic. Then we have to compare that manual decoding and the compiler output. Then we can adjust our logic. Initially, for the programming practice, it will be useful for you if you are practicing like that. For example, you have to take for in online web website, there are many programs you are referring that. Okay, don't take the program as it is and you can execute on your platform. Instead of that, you can take over that program, manually decode it to understand the program, then execute it. Then you will know the complete understanding of the program. The same way we are going to do here. Here, first what we are going to do means, I am going to assign I and n variable I declared. Then I am just declaring T1 and T2. So because T1 has 0 and T2 has 1, I am declaring, I am initializing here. Why? Because my first two value will be 0 and 1. So I am using T1 and T2 as 0 and 1. Okay, so I am initializing, and the third variable, my third variable is 0 plus 1 is 1. Correct? 0, 1. My third iteration will be 1. So I have to print my third variable also, third value also. So I am using my next term variable, and I am going to add 0 and 1. That means T1 and T2. Now I am saving into my next term. These three variable will going to play a big role in my program. So then in the next step, I am getting the n value from the user using scanf. Then I am printing my T1 and T2 first. So let's decode the particular code. T1 I am printing, T2 I am printing, 0 and 1. Then I am going for the for loop. For my your reference, I am just going to copy and paste that for loop in my notepad. Okay, so let's three. So you see that first my 3, I'm starting my for loop, I'm initializing as 3. Why? Because already I have printed 0 and 1. First two iteration of numbers are completed, so I am starting with my third iteration. So the first step of my third iteration, I am printing my next term. Before getting into the logic, let me going to explain how this for loop works. First, for loop will going to initialize the variable, then it will going to check the condition. Imagine that my n value is 6. My n value will be 6. Okay, so now I am assigning n value as 6. So I is equal to 3. Then here it will check 3 lesser than or equal to 6. So the condition is true. When the condition is true, it will going to execute my logic once. Then final step, it will going to increment my I value. So then my I value is updated here. So the updated I value, again it will check with the condition, again my logic going to execute it, again it will going to increment. Here in this way my particular for loop works. Okay, as a overall I am stating here. In the next separate video I will explain the simple for loop. Now let's start our decode our logic here. First I am starting I value is equal to 3. Okay, so now I am checking I3 is lesser than or equal to 6 because n value is 6. So the condition is true. Then I am going to print my next term. Okay, I am going to print my next term here. What is my next term? T1 plus T2 as per my program. Okay, so here you see that my next term will be T1 plus T2. So I am printing 0 plus 1. So I am printing my next term here. Then so next term is printed. Next, T1 is equal to T2. So, okay, so I am going to store T2 value in the T1. Okay, as per the C program, right hand side value will going to store in the left hand side variable. So T2 is going to store in the T1. So my current T2 value will be 2. So sorry, T1 is equal to 1 because my current T1 is equal to 0 and T2 value is equal to 1. Okay, so my current T2 value is 1. So I am storing as 1 here. Next, T2 is equal to next term. So what is that meaning? T2 is equal to, what is my updated value of next term is 1. So my T1 and T2 value is updated in this iteration. Then next term is equal to T1 plus T2, 1 plus 1. So my output is 2. So what is our next number in our series? 2. Okay. So what I told, when the particular logic is executed, our next it will go to the next iteration. I will be incremented as 4. So 4 is lesser than or equal to 6. So the condition is true. So what will happen here is T1 is equal to T2. So T1 is equal to T2. Now tell me the updated value of T1. So T1 is becoming 1 because my last T2 value is 1. So I am assigning T2 to T1. So T1 is becoming 1 and T2 is equal to next term. So T2 is equal to my, what is my updated value of next term value? 2. So it will become 2. So now my next term is equal to 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. So my next term 3 will be printed here. Likewise, my iteration will going to execute until the n value will be 6 because I am giving lesser than or equal to in my condition. So from 3 to 6 it will going to print my particular Fibonacci series. In this way we have to decode each and every iteration in our logic manually by referring the program. So patiently we have to decode the logic like this to understand the program completely. Then the next step we have to execute the program. Actually my particular output will be 0, 1, 1, 2 and then obviously next will be 5, next will be 8. Okay, so but I am giving 6, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it will going to print up to 5. So if I give 6 means my output will be 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. Correct? So let's see whether it is executing or not. First you have to compile it. Okay, so you need to know whether your output, your program is having any error or not. For that, in that Dev C++ software, you have to right click on the bottom of your window and then you have to click on floating report window. In that floating report window, you identify your compiler log. Under the compiler log, you will see the errors. Okay, so currently I am not having any error and any warning. So my exe file is successfully generated. Okay, now what I have to do means I am going to run my exe file here. I need to run here. Automatically my output will executing here. If I give 6, okay, as per our logic, you see that my particular output is printing successfully 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. It is printing successfully. So my manual decoding of logic and the compiler executions are same. So I understood my this Fibonacci series successfully. This is the practical model. In this way, in this practical model, you can practice as a beginner for the programming language. So here, overall, we have seen how the Fibonacci series is working in the for loop. In the next video, I will explain how it is working in the while loop. Sorry, how it is working using recursion, not the while loop, using recursion. Thank you.